I'm just like you. Growing up, I wasn't ever the best looking kid. I was rocking buzz cuts and my outfits were quite wonky. But I mean, I really didn't care though. And I didn't really care about how I presented myself until I got into high school and I realized that I was getting no girls. This led to a lot of positive change. I was taking care of my body, I was going to the gym, I was taking care of my hair, I was taking care of my skin, and I started getting a bit more into fashion. Not only did my physical appearance change, but I became more confident in myself, and so my communication skills also improved with this newfound confidence. So finally at this point, I started getting a bit more attention from girls, and my high school crush finally wanted me back. Not really. Now at this point, I had no clue what looksmaxxing was. I was just following advice off of YouTube that was teaching me how to take care of myself. Because there's a clear distinction between looksmaxxing and taking care of yourself. Looksmaxxing takes self-care to an unhealthy point where you start obsessing over your appearance, even on things that you have no control over. Like, I realized that I have neutral canthal tilt. If you know, you know. And so about a year ago, I entered the whole of looksmaxxing. In January 2024, the beginning of my spring semester in college, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty chubby. I'd been bulking up, so I put on a good amount of muscle mass, but this came along with a decent amount of body fat. So to no surprise, I wasn't really getting any girls at this time. And yeah, it did kind of suck being single, but I had other things going on for me. My YouTube channel was starting to kick off, I got into a research position that I applied for, and I had a 4.0 GPA. I was locked in, and I was pursuing my academic goals. Now, of course, like every horny and lonely college student, I thought to myself, it would be nice if I had a girlfriend. It didn't even have to be a long-term relationship. I just wanted to talk to someone out of pure boredom. So what do you think logically I should have done? A, go talk to woman. B, go talk to woman. C, go talk to woman. Well, actually, it was D, looksmaxxing. And I feel like 99% of people start doing looksmaxxing so that they can get more women. Because really, getting girls and looksmaxxing, they just go hand in hand. Now, at this time, looksmaxxing was in its prime. People were talking about meowing, sharp jawlines, hunter eyes, canthal tilt, and jelking. So yeah, like I said before, I was a bit chubby, so I started intermittent fasting to cut down my body fat percentage and lean myself out. I mean, it worked pretty well, but because looksmaxxing was such a trend at the time, I was constantly seeing these TikToks on how to get a sharper jawline, how to get defined cheekbones, and it honestly made me too obsessive with my appearance. I was on the search for how to get the clearest skin, the most majestic hair, the most defined jawline, and hunter eyes. Now, the worst part about this is that this change in mentality was so subtle because this made it hard for me to recognize that I was starting to care a bit too much about looksmaxxing and my appearance. And it's not like I completely started to hate my appearance and I just became depressed. It's just that I was placing more value into my appearance, which was taking away time and energy from other areas in my life. Other areas that are obviously more important than just my appearance. And the main issue with me putting so much value into my appearance is that I was really just doing all this to get a girl. The more time that I spent looksmaxxing and just trying to look better, the more desperate I became when it came to getting a girlfriend. If we fast forward to the summer of 2024, we can see how this becomes a bigger issue because I started installing the dating apps. I got on Hinge and I got on Tinder. I was pretty active. I was using all my likes and all of my swipes basically every single day. And yeah, sure, maybe because I had been looksmaxxing, there were more girls out there that were into me. But this was just unhealthy for me because I started to put even more time and energy into just looking better. It was really just an unhealthy cycle. If I wasn't getting the matches I wanted, I would often look inwards and think to myself that I wasn't attractive enough. Because being so immersed in looksmaxxing content, my automatic instinct was to focus on my appearance and notice my imperfections. And I would blame these imperfections if I wasn't getting the matches that I wanted. Another thing too about looksmaxxing is that you often compare yourself to others. I would see other guys that were more attractive than me and just think to myself, this guy's probably getting more matches than me on Hinge and Tinder. I mean, it's just crazy that I was thinking these type of thoughts. It's just super unhealthy, and it's honestly kind of embarrassing that these thoughts even popped up in my mind. And this continued on to September of this year, the beginning of my second year of college. During the semester, I became complacent. My grades were still pretty good, but I wasn't doing the most I could to achieve my goals. I wasn't offering the most with my research position, I was half-assing content creation, and I just didn't have that same drive like I did before. And as I reflect on this right now, it's really because I put so much energy into looksmaxxing. And because of this, a lot of my energy was also going towards getting women. That purpose and grind I had to achieve my academic goals were just no longer at the forefront of my mind. All of these girls that I was entertaining really was just a distraction to my life. And this realization sank in within the last few days. You see, I have a little story to tell, and to be honest, it goes a bit off topic, but I feel like you guys might be able to relate. So basically, I matched with this girl on Hinge and we started texting. I got her number and then we started FaceTiming, and we started FaceTiming almost every single night. I mean, I just really enjoyed talking to this girl. The conversations were really genuine. And honestly, before I started talking to this girl, I really just didn't like being on FaceTime because I just thought it was pretty boring. Like, I'd rather be watching YouTube than being on FaceTime with you. But with her, it was different. I started building that emotional attachment to her already. I mean, it was so bad that I was constantly checking my phone to see if she texted me. Like, if you do this, you know you're cooked. It was like I was seeking her validation, and when I didn't get that validation, I felt bad on the inside. And I was feeling all these emotions before we even met in person. Like, we had only been talking on FaceTime. But fast forward, we went on our first date, and we hung out literally the entire day. We got Korean food, we went to a cafe, we went to an arcade, we went to a pool bar, we went to another bar. We were just hanging out literally the entire day. And during this date, I just became more and more attached to her. And so finally, I dropped her off back home, gave her a little kiss goodbye. And after that, things really just went downhill from there. I could tell that through text, she wasn't feeling me the same anymore. The energy that we had before, it wasn't the same. I could tell that it was just me putting in the effort at this point. And I'm really just not the type of guy that's gonna force something that's not even there anymore. So yeah, after this, I felt pretty bad for the last few days. Because to be honest, I don't think I've ever felt this type of emptiness just because of a girl before. But as I was talking to my friends more and more about the situation, I started to realize that I became so attached to her because I had nothing else going on for me in my life. I wasn't pushing myself the same in school, my extracurriculars, and even content creation. Because at this point, it felt like my life was centered around just getting a girl. I had nothing else driving me. That was my sole motivation. And so I was looking for a girl to fill this void within me because I had no other purpose. I basically just couldn't be content and happy with what I had unless I had a girl there for me. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a girlfriend, but if you aren't content with yourself and just being single and alone, then you aren't ready for a relationship. Because even if you do get into a relationship with someone, you're going to become super attached to this person and your happiness is only going to come from them. And this is just a recipe for disaster because this is when the overthinking starts to kick in, and that's what I experienced. I was constantly just thinking, what did I do wrong? What did I do that made her lose interest in me? But at the end of the day, why should I even care that this girl left me? It's not like we were even in a relationship in the first place. And I shouldn't even be caring because I have other things in my life that I should be focusing on. I have ambitious goals. I want to go to medical school and I want to become a dermatologist. And dermatology is one of the most competitive specialties every single year. So really looksmaxxing just to get a girlfriend, that's really just a supplement in my life. And it shouldn't even be at the forefront of my mind. I should be focusing on getting good grades, pushing myself in my research position, serving my community, and just posting high quality YouTube videos. And so moral of the story is don't care so much about your appearance so that you can get girls. It'll really just lead to unhealthy and negative thoughts in the back of your mind. You have a purpose in your life and just focus on it. Don't lose track of that goal that you want to achieve. Because really these superficial things like getting girls and looking better, they really don't matter at the end of the day. These aren't things that are going to make you happy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on Instagram at choice.yt, and peace.